Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. Come on to the dinner table. You know it's that time for that good food for your soul. Come on in. I would like for you all to relax at the dinner table and also have a little room for any guests that will be coming to the dinner table tonight. If this is your first time at the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. When I talk about relationships, my brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you the position that I come from, and it will be clear and straightforward. I believe in how God created the relationships. I believe strongly when you go to the book of Genesis, God created the relationship between him and the man Adam first, which was unique, minus a woman. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve, minus the man. He represented the woman Eve to Adam, and in the presence of God, the man Adam said, "Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she was taken from man." That's the position that I come from strongly, and I stand on it, and I always will stand on it. Now, if you have a different point of view on a relationship, you have what is called a free will. You could do whatever you choose to do. However, I'm still inviting you to the dinner table, and my position is clear. I look at it from the book of Genesis as well documented, and that's the position that I come from. Now, I'm talking on two different platforms. I'm talking on the tube, and not only on the tube, I'm talking on the book. Now, those of you on the book, I may make a reference or comment to those that are on the tube. You can't see their comment, but I do. But I will call out their name, and I'll tell you what they said, okay? And vice versa, those of you that are on the tube, I may make a comment to those that are on the book. You can't see their comments, but I will call out their name, and I will tell you to comment. But keep in mind, we're still all family here, okay? My brother and sister, we're still all family. If you have any comments that you would like to make during our time at the dinner table, I would like for you, brother and sister, to make your comments, and let's keep it on the topic. Basically, when you know what's on the menu, and as your brothers and sister come in, it's nothing wrong with you greeting your brothers and sister coming in. Nothing wrong with it, okay? As a matter of fact, I encourage you to talk to your brothers and sisters as you see the comments on. I don't have no problem with it, but try to keep the conversation on what's on the menu for tonight, okay? With that said, we're about to get on the topic that's on the menu. By the way, how you doing, Sister Kirkpatrick? I see that you have sat down at the dinner table. How you doing, sister? How you doing? The rest of you brothers and sisters, as you come in, you could go ahead and speak to the other brothers and sisters. And we're about to see what's on the dinner table. We're not on the dinner table because we're at the dinner table. We're about to look at what's on the menu for tonight. On the menu tonight, my brothers and sisters, we will be talking about the topic: when a wise man truly loves a woman, he will never leave her. Again, look at what's on the menu for tonight. When a wise man truly loves a woman, he will never, never, never leave her. The only way a wise man will leave a woman, my brother and sister, is it has to be an act of God. When I say an act of God, God has to take that man out of this world. He has to take that woman out of this world. Or when God, son Jesus come, he's going to take both the man and the woman out of the world, especially if they both believe in the Lord Jesus, okay? Now, and that's what I mean by that. Now, check this out, my brother and sister. A man has to possess a great amount of wisdom, and he must be able to apply that wisdom by the use of his discernment. Now, discernment, my brother and sister, is the ability to see straight through something, you know, with your physical, not your physical eye, but with your spiritual eye, in order for that man to know not to leave a good woman. And that's what we're talking about at the dinner table tonight. And I'm going to tell you again, for those of you that are coming in, on the menu for tonight: when a wise man truly loves a woman, he will never leave her. Now, my brother and sister, let's look at the game called chess. I know a lot of you you have heard of the game called chess. You may not have played it. Majority of the people probably have played the game of checkers, but the game of chess is more advanced. I put it that way. It's more advanced. You have to have more strategy when it comes to the game of chess. Now, why am I talking about chess? What does that have to do with the topic? Just listen to me, my brother and sister. Bear with me. If you have played the game of chess, let's talk about two of those pieces on the chessboard. It's about, I think, about 16. But let's talk about two of the pieces on the board. We have what is called a king, and we have what is called a queen. Now, the king, my brother and sister, is the most important part on the chessboard. Listen to what I'm saying. The king is the most important piece on the board, but he's not the most powerful on the board, but he's the most important. Okay. Without a leader, that king that's on the board, the chessboard, the piece cannot move. And so the king, being the most important piece on the board, he must have what is called a queen. Now, what is the queen on the chessboard? The queen is the most powerful piece on the chessboard. The king is the most important, but the queen is the most powerful. She has a wide way of how she can move on the chessboard. The king, he can collapse reality on the chessboard, thus ending the game. The queen can protect the king in chess. Okay. In fact, because the queen is the most powerful piece on the board, my brothers and sisters, it is also the most powerful defender on the board in chess. However, be careful not to expose the queen to attack if you're a king. And that's the some of the things that you need to know about a king and queen. Now let's take that in another direction. When we talk about territory, there is what is called a king, and that way it's called a queen. A lot of people, men and women, they use the word king and queen loosely. But let me tell you the real functions of a king, and let me tell you the real functions of a queen. A king is the one normally that rules a territory, and his queen is the one of his closest advisors. There's no one else that sits opposite of the king while he's on the throne except for his wife. There's nobody else that sits next to the king on the throne but his wife. And why does the queen sit next to the king? She is his biggest supporter. She is one of his closest advisors. Why is the queen the closest advisor to the king? Because a woman, brothers, she basically is driven by her emotions, where men basically are driven by analytics. A woman's feeling, if it is channeled the right way, she can give that king some very, very vital information before he make a decision. Because both of them theoretically rules together, but the king is the one that's most responsible for the kingdom. So whatever he say, he make the last word. So that's why it's very important for a king to listen to his queen. Now, how you doing, Sister Parker? Welcome to the dinner table. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's say that king believes in God. Let's say that that queen believes in God. It's very, very important. When you go back to the Garden of Eden, God brought a unique woman to Adam. And he brought that unique woman, that woman being Eve, for some purposes, to reproduce and to have dominion. Now, let's say a king and a queen believe in God. God is the one that put that king and queen together. So the king may lack some things. The queen may lack some things. The king may have some weaknesses. The queen may have some weaknesses. But a weakness is the absence of something that is missing. So where that king is weak, that queen makes up the deficit. She got a strength in a certain area that the king doesn't have, and vice versa. Where the king is weak, the king has strength in a certain area where that queen doesn't have. So when the strength of the queen cancel out the weakness of the king, and the king cancel out the weakness of the queen, they both are powerful, just like on a chessboard. So if a king and a queen believe in the Lord God together, they are a powerful couple. It's not like the powerful couple that you see on TV, magazines, and stuff like that. No, we're talking about a man and a woman that is strong first spiritually. That's what we're talking about first. Now, again, when a wise man, and the king has to be a wise man. Now, in order to be a wise man, that king must possess wisdom. He must possess knowledge. He must not present, but possess understanding and have discernment. And likewise, the queen, she must possess wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and discernment. And that's what God equipped a good woman with and a man. So, brother, I'm talking to you tonight, basically. So, you sisters, listen to what I got to say because this applies to you. But I'm aiming this basically at the brothers so they could be aware of it. And your sister, you need to be aware of it. Listen to me carefully again. Like when you looked at the what's on the menu for tonight, it's a true statement that a wise man truly loves a woman. When a wise man truly loves a woman, he will never leave her. He will never leave that woman unless it's an act of God because he recognized that type of woman. Now, let's go over two terminologies. When we say wise, I mean wisdom, we're talking about a wise man or a wise woman, but we're talking more about a wise man. Now, the word wise, my brothers and sisters, is defined as a mentor in spiritual and philosophical topics, who is known for profound wisdom, or to say it differently, a man who is vertebrated for experience, judgment, and wisdom. Now, wisdom, again, my brother and sister, it is defined as the soundness of an action or decision with regards to the application of experience, knowledge, and good judgment, or to say it differently, in the book of Proverbs 19. Again, the book Proverbs 19, the book Proverbs 19. It clearly defines wisdom as the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. That's what true wisdom is, my brother. So how you doing, sister Crabtree? Welcome to the dinner table. Again, listen to what real wisdom is. If a man actually have wisdom, he first get it from fearing the Lord. When that means fearing the Lord, that means respecting the Lord. That means acknowledging the Lord. That's where wisdom comes from. Now, in the world, you rarely hear the world say a man is wise, because most men that are in this world, they're not wise. They may be smart, they may be intelligent, they may articulate words and it sound good, but not many men that walk upon this earth possess what is called wisdom. Wisdom is, to break it down, it's the ability to see things from God's point of view. Only a few men, and those are sons of God and also daughters of God, that possess wisdom. This is what King Solomon prayed for. When the Lord visited him in a dream, my brother and sister, Solomon asked for understanding heart. So when Solomon became king. He was the third king of Israel. His father, being David, had died. So Solomon was going to take his place. Solomon being the third king. His father David was the second king. So David passed away. Solomon, he had so much responsibilities on him. He had to be a king over the nation, basically the nation of Israel. So before Israel became really Israel. Okay, but Solomon was asleep, and the Lord visited him in a dream. And the Lord asked him a point blank question. He said, Solomon, ask me whatever you want. Now, listen to what the Lord did. He asked Solomon, basically, whatever you ask me, I'm going to give it to you. Brother and sister, what if the Lord appeared to you in a dream and asked you what you want? What would your answer be? Now, a worldly person will be asking for probably money. That's the first thing a worldly man probably will ask the Lord. I want money. I want power. I want popularity. I want all this superficial stuff. But what did King Solomon do? King Solomon didn't say that. King Solomon said, give me an understanding heart. To say it differently, what Solomon was asking for wisdom. So I could rule your people, because he said, I'm a little child, I don't understand. And the Bible clearly said that when Solomon asked for understanding the heart, it said that pleased the Lord. So Solomon, his aim was to please the Lord. He wanted to do what the Lord wanted him to do. And a wise man, before he gets a good woman, he has to please the Lord. Because the Bible clearly say that delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So a wise man, before the Lord bring him a good woman that has wisdom, she is a Proverb 31 woman. So before the Lord bring a Proverb 31 woman to a man, she's the right woman. She's not the perfect woman, but she is the right woman. Like the man is not a perfect man, he's the right man. The man must possess wisdom, and he must seek the face of the Lord. Now, my brother and sister, a good wife, listen to this, brothers, a good wife, a good wife, a good wife, a good wife, she is a gift from the Lord. Brother, if you find a woman, and the only way you're going to find a woman, brother, is when the Lord bring her to you. So you don't have to go looking for her. You don't have to run after no woman. How you doing, A1K? Welcome to the dinner table, brother. You don't have to go running after woman. You ain't got to pursue no woman and all that kind of stuff. All you have to do is do what God wants you to do. You have to seek the will of the Lord and keep doing it. The Lord see your desire, and he's going to answer your desire. And the Lord is going to handpick a good woman for you. And brother, if you are in his son Jesus, like if the woman is the son Jesus, because God is not going to bring you nothing more than one of his daughters, okay? So God going to bring you the right woman, and that's how you find a woman, when God bring the woman to you, brother. There's no other way about it. God bring the woman to you. So just keep pleasing the Lord. And on the other end, sister, you have to keep pleasing the Lord too, because he will, if you have desire, he's going to cause the right man to find you. And how he's going to do that? He's going to use your circumstance. He's going to use your life circumstance to bring the man and the woman together. As I just said, a good wife is a gift from God, as it is written in the book of Ecclesiastes, that chapter 26 through 23. Again, Ecclesiastes chapter 26, 23, Ecclesiastes chapter 26, 23. It is written, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. Let me read that again. Ecclesiastes 26, 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. Those are worldly men. So they're going to get a worldly woman. On the flip side of the coin, it said, but a godly woman, she is given to him that feareth the Lord. She is a gift to the man. The Bible clearly say, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. So that favor is a gift. It's an unmerited, it's a merciful, it's an act of grace that the Lord give a man. You understand? How you doing, Sister Hall? Welcome to the dinner table tonight. So Proverbs, in the book of Proverbs 31, 10, 11, Proverbs 31, 10, 11, Proverbs chapter 31, 10, 11 says, who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts in her, so he will have no lack of gain. Now, according to Proverbs 31, 10, 11, again, it's talking about a virtuous wife. It's not talking about a virtuous girlfriend. It's not talking about a virtuous woman that you live with. It's not talking about a virtuous boo. It clearly established the position of the woman. It said a wife. So therefore, brother, when you are interested in a woman and God bring the right woman to you, you don't have no time to mess around. You have to be serious. You have to commit, and you need to be in a covenant relationship with that woman. What do I mean by covenant? You have to go ahead and take on responsibility because God bringing a woman to you. So what that means, you're supposed to marry her. The Bible does not say who can find a virtuous girlfriend. Who can find a virtuous boo? It doesn't say that. Who can find a virtuous woman to live with? It doesn't say that. God was specific when he inspired Solomon to write this in the book of Proverbs. The woman has to be promoted to the position of a wife. From God's point of view, not from the world point of view. And when God brings a good woman to you, brother, she is priceless. There's nothing that compared to her other than your relationship to God. When God brings the right woman, not a perfect woman, but the right woman into your life. And brother, you would trust her greatly because you know that she's coming from the Lord. You're going to trust her. You're going to have a high level of trust in her, but you put all your trust in the Lord. All trust only go to the Lord, but you can have a high level of trust in her because she's a human. She's going to fall on her face sometime, like you're going to fall on your face sometime, brother. Now, God, my brother, he is the center of your life. God must be the first priority in your life other than your wife, other than your career, other than your children, other than your dream, your hopes and everything. The Lord has to have the top priority in your life. And the woman that God brings to your wife, there's nobody or nothing that's supposed to come after Jesus but her. And everybody, every relationship that you have and everything fall after your wife. This is where a lot of men get confused. They have their careers, their jobs, their boys, and everything over the woman. That's not correct. That's why a lot of households fall. And sister, you need to understand this too. After your relationship with God, there's nobody or nothing that come before your husband but Jesus. And sister, if you get it right, if you have your husband in his proper position after the Lord, and brother, if you have your wife in her proper position after the Lord, you can have a household that excels. You can help the Lord greatly, my brother. You can help the Lord greatly, my sister, because God is the first priority in a man's life. And when God bring a woman to you, brother, one of his daughter, God adding her to your life. You gotta understand, God add her to your life. God didn't add a woman to your life for you to be happy, because you're supposed to rejoice in the Lord. But he's adding a woman to your life because when you go back to the book of Genesis, the Lord says it's not good for man to be alone. So I will make for him a helpmeet. And the Bible also clearly states that the man was not created for the woman, but the woman was created for the man. This is all God's doing. When God bring the right woman into your life, my brother, it is for you to reproduce whatever God gave to you, and you're supposed to dominate in whatever field the Lord put you in. The Lord didn't call every man to be a preacher. He didn't call every man to be an elder or a deacon. Whatever the Lord put you at in this world, my brother, you are officially, you are a priest, okay? When you look in the Bible, you are like a priest, brother. You represent Christ on earth. That's what you're doing. So when God bring the right woman to you, when God fuse your spirits together, your mind together, your soul together, your flesh together, and all things, my brother, you and that woman that God bring into your life, you're going to bear great light. And the world is going to see you. The world may say that y'all look good together, but one thing about you, my brother and sister, you could be very attractive on the outside, but what people are going to see, they're going to see something that they may not understand. They're going to see that the Lord live in your relationship. So your light is going to shine, my brother and sister. You cannot be hid. So when God bring a man and a woman together, you can't be hid. You might try to go undercover and stuff like that. You may not have a public platform or something like that, but you're going to be noticed because you are walking in this thing called darkness. The world is darkness, my brother and sister. So you are going to bear the light of his son, Jesus. Okay? That's what you're going to do. Now, finding a good woman, my brother, listen to this. Finding a good woman is like being a coal miner. And you know what a coal miner is? There is a man that goes in a cave and he go underground and he look for coal. Now let me tell you about getting coal, my brothers and sisters. You don't know darkness. You think you know what darkness like, but go into a coal mine. You ain't never seen that type of darkness before. You can cut off the light in your house, but you still can see it once your eyes get used to it, because there's some form of light that's going to be in your house and your eye will be able to adjust to it. But when you are in a coal mine, my brothers and sisters, you will not see light, period. It was going to be dark. You can't see nothing. And the only way you're going to be able to see something that the coal miners see, they have this little light on their hat. That little light on their hat. And that's how they're able to see in darkness. So, my brother, it's just like that in the world. You are in a world of darkness, and you just like a coal miner. You have that little light. That light is the Lord. And you see, a coal miner, he moves step by step. And every step he's moving, that light precedes him. It's a small light. But every step he make, that small light is going ahead. And that's how the Lord does it, brother, in your life. Every step you take, you're going forward and forward. You following that light. And that's when the coal miner find coal with that little light. And that's when the Lord going to bring the right woman to you, brother. He's going to bring that right woman to you in this dark world. And coal is precious. So that's how the Lord is going to do it, my brother. It's just like you're a coal miner. Now, when a man that is a wise man truly loves a woman, again, he will never leave that woman. So, brother, if you are a wise man, you will love a good woman that the Lord bring into your life. And let me tell you what you're going to sign up for. Brother, when the Lord brings, you being a wise man, when the Lord brings a good woman into your life, let me tell you what you're signing up for. There's about seven things that you're signing up for. First, you are, and I'm going to go into each one of these in depth, okay? The first thing you're signing up for, to love the woman less than you love the Lord Jesus. The first thing you got to remember, my brother, you have to love that woman lesser than you love Jesus. You cannot put her in front of Jesus. Listen to me carefully. There's one thing you got to remember. She come after Jesus. She never comes before Jesus. What Jesus say, go before your wife. You understand? What Jesus said, go before your wife. You have to listen to Jesus first, then you listen to your wife second. Let me give you 2 points. Adam listened to Eve. He failed. God was his first love, but he listened to his wife first. Now, there is a time that you listen to your wife, my brother, but you see, the time when you listen to your wife, my brother, she had to say something from a godly point of view. That's when you listen to her. So God told Adam, don't you eat of that tree of knowledge of good and evil, because in the day that you eat it, you shall surely die. Adam got into a conversation with his wife Eve after she had eaten this forbidden fruit. She gave it to him. Adam had a decision to make. It's either I'm going to disobey God and hold on to my wife, or I'm going to listen to God and let God deal with my wife. He failed. So when God came in the garden of the cool of day, that God being Jesus, but his name was Jesus at that time, he asked Adam and Eve where they was at. They were hid. And they told the Lord, we were afraid. And he said, afraid? Did you eat of that tree of the knowledge of good and evil? And what did Adam do? He immediately blamed God, and he blamed the woman. He said, the woman that you gave me, and yeah, I ate it. He did not take responsibility. So Adam failed by listening to his wife. And the Lord punished him. He said, because you listen to your wife. Now, let me give you another example. Let's go to the book of Job. When Job was going through all this adversity, he lost a whole lot of things within a short period of time. His own wife said, why don't you holding on to your integrity, why don't you curse God and die? Job said, you speak like a foolish woman. And he's the one who came up with the Lord give it, the Lord take it away. So Job did not listen to his wife. He did not curse God and die, because he loved God more than he loved his wife. And that's what some of you brothers need to understand. The Lord Jesus coming for your wife. And that's showing that you are a wise man. No matter how good you feel about your wife, you got to remember the Lord comes first. And sister, that's the same thing. You need to understand that the man comes after your love towards God. Now, brother, this is what you're signing up for. The first thing you sign up for after you recognize your position between that Jesus and that woman is you are to love that woman unconditionally. What do I mean by loving her unconditionally? You have to love her to the point where you got to recognize that she's not perfect. She's not perfect, brother. She never will be perfect, but she's the right woman. Therefore, you got to understand that she's the weaker vessel. That's not meaning that she's less intelligent or less articulate or anything. That means that you got to understand the Bible clearly say, and Peter made that statement, that the woman is the weaker vessel. So when you deal with her, brother, you got to deal with her with an understanding heart. When you listen to her, you're supposed to listen to her with your heart. It goes, whatever she say goes in your ear. You don't listen to your wife with your ear. You listen to her with your heart, because you have to empathize with the woman that God brought into your life. Which means if you love your woman unconditionally, if she falls on her face like you're going to fall on your face, you understand that you're going to have to forgive her, because you're going to have to forgive your wife for some stuff that's going to happen in your relationship. How you doing, sister Simpson? You got to understand, because she's going to have to forgive you for some things. If you stay with your mate for a long period of time, you both going to fall on your face sometime. The sun is not going to shine every day in your relationship, my brother. Some days you're going to get PO'd with your woman, and some days she's going to be PO'd with you. But don't take that anger into another day. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath, brother and sister. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. So, brother, you're going to, if you understand loving the woman unconditionally, it'll be easier for you to forgive her when she falls on her face. And likewise, sister, it'll be easier if you love your man unconditionally. When he falls on his face, you can forgive him easier. easier. It'll be easier to forgive. So unconditional love, then it moves to forgiveness. Then, brother, what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to give her your heart after you give your heart to the Lord. What do I mean by that? You, brother, you're going to have to give her attention. You got to give her attention. After you focus on the Lord, you got to give that woman attention from your heart. You have to study your woman. You got to look at for her well-being. She got to be treasured up in your heart. So after you have unconditional love, you have forgiveness, then you have to treasure her in your heart. You got to give her attention because women love attention. That's what a lot of you guys, you mess up on. And when I say a lot of you guys, I'm talking to my Christian brother. You got to understand, you got to give them attention. Why does she have to listen to word of me and give her attention? And you, why you can't compliment her, but then another man compliment her? You need to be the one. You need to notice some things about her before a worldly man do it because they seek attention. Remember what I say, the Bible said the woman is the weaker vessel. Ask Adam. Eve was the weaker vessel. Even though they were perfect, she was the weaker vessel. Satan studied both of them. He knew that he could get to, you see, he knew that he could get to God. He studied Adam and he studied Eve. And he knew that he could get to God through Eve, which he gonna affect Adam, and Adam going to, and then he know that we're gonna affect God relationship. So I want you, brothers, to understand this. That was a personal thing between Satan and God. He used Eve, then he used Adam. He used Eve, then he used Eve to get to Adam, and that what happened. So you got to understand this, brother. You got to be wise and redeem the time because the devil walk around like a roaring lion seeking whom he can devour. And sister, you got to watch out for him too. You got to be on guard all the time. And what do you guard? You got to guard your mind and your feelings. Because that's how Satan gonna tempt you, my brother. He's gonna tempt you, my sisters. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. That's how he attack you. How you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. That's how Satan gonna attack your relationship, my brother and sister. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. He gonna use one of those three, or he gonna combine all three. Cause let me tell you, my brother, Satan is studying you. If he's not studying you right now, one of his demons are studying you. And if you too much for his demon, they got to report to the big boy, which is Satan. And then he got to personally come and deal with you. Because you are a threat to him, brother. You are a threat to him, sister. So that's what you have to understand, brother. You got to love your wife unconditionally. You got to forgive her. You got to treasure her in your heart by giving her. You got to give her a lot of attention, which leads to time. You have to set aside time after your time with the Lord, brother. You give the Lord his time first. Then you give your woman time after. Before you give anybody else time, it's the Lord first and then your wife second. That's just like at lunchtime, bro. Let me tell you something. This is just a hypothetical. I don't know what I told you. Welcome to the dinner table, Sister Flora, Sister Renee Sim, but welcome to the dinner table. Welcome to the dinner table, Cheryl. Bro, this just like an example. Like if you on your lunchtime, right? When you know the first thing you need to think about. You need to think about the Lord first on your lunch break, and before you eat, say your prayer to the Lord. Then you need to text or call your woman on your lunch break before you call anybody else. And they're going to take time. You got to learn, brother. It's the Lord first, your wife, and all other relationship and things after her. Now, sometimes you may fail in those areas, but you need to have your focal point on the Lord your wife, and then everything else. After that, brother, you have to set aside quality time. You have to purposely set aside quality time for your wife, not your girlfriend. You supposed to promote the woman, your girlfriend, to engagement, and then you're supposed to promote the engagement to marriage. She don't supposed to be your girlfriend for years and years and years until you finally decide to promote her to engagement, and she don't supposed to be engaged for you years and years and years and years and years. This thing you have to progress. Bro, I'm telling you this now. You will never know your wife completely. And sister, you will never know your husband completely. Now, I hope that settles how some people say, well, I got to get to know you. You're going to always be learning your man or your woman. You will never know him or her to the core because you can't read no mind. How you doing, Uncle Tim? You cannot win. Welcome to the dinner table. You cannot read your mate's mind, my brother. You cannot read your mate's mind, my sister. You cannot do it. So you have to have that unconditional love first. Then you have to have that forgiveness and that heart. You got to give her attention. You got to set aside that quality time. After that quality time, you got to provide provision for her. You got to have her somewhere to stay. You don't supposed to be thinking about, can I stay in your crib? You supposed to have something set aside. And I always say this, my brothers. I always say this. I know some people don't like what I'm about to say, but you just don't like it. I'm telling you. And listen to me, brother. This is wise. Yes, she may have a big house when you meet her. Yes, she may. But you better thread very carefully when you want to move into that house that got her name on it. My suggestion, and some of you have heard it before, my suggestion is, brother, you have somewhere to stay, and she should come stay with you. If you're in a small apartment or whatever, and she used to a house, what you need to suggest, okay, let's get us a house together. Because I'm gonna tell you, some of you would never feel that if you move into her house, even if she say this is our house, you would never really feel that you're the man of the house. You would never feel that way because her name is on it. Now, if she comes live with you or y'all get a house together, that's a whole different arena. You see, this is what I suggest. She either come where you at, live in your apartment, or y'all get a house together, and the house that she live in, you can make some money off that. You could rent that. That could be rental property. That's just my suggestion. But I know of many cases where guys move into a later house and eventually she get PO'd at you, brother. You're going to hear these words. This is my house. I had this house before you came in there. That's how some women do, because you got to understand, I ain't saying all women, but women are emotional. And if you PO them too much, they're going to pull rank on you. Because if you move into something that they got their names on, and then you want to start calling the shot, if you catch you on the wrong day, she probably going to say, look, this is mine. That's something that I just had to throw out, provision. The next thing is protection. Brother, you got to be, whereas you have to have that protection thought process. You got to be just like a pit bull or Rottweiler if any threat come towards your woman. Just like I have seen some videos like this. I have seen some videos where a dog will protect the little baby. A dog will protect the little baby from their parents. Believe it or not, I have seen it on some video. The parent at like he or she about to hit the child, that dog start growling. Or you can have a dog and you be walking, And a lot of, they could be nice dogs. But if a dog sense any threat coming towards you, that dog is not going to be nice no more. That dog going to more than likely protect you, my brothers and sisters. You may not seen that side of your dog, but your dog will protect you if that dog feel that you're being threatened. But he's a nice dog now until you are threatened. And that's the mentality you brothers got to have. You got to have that bulldog, Doberman Pinscher, lion type of mentality. How you doing, sister Helen? Let me tell you this, some of my brothers and sisters, I don't know whether it is true or not, but this is what I have been told. King Solomon, when Solomon sitting on the throne, this is what, I don't know whether it's a true fact, but this is what I told. I was told that there were some lions. You just could not walk up there and where King Solomon was at. There were some lions, trained lions, before you could get close to King Solomon. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true. I went back there. I didn't see it in the Bible, but that's what some historian would say. But moving right along, and the final part, my brother, you got to be willing to lay down your life for her. If you're not going to bite the bullet for her, even if it's cost your life, you shouldn't be afraid to die. You shouldn't be afraid to die for Jesus. I mean, literally die. I'm not talking about in a figurative way. I'm talking about literally die for Jesus. You should have the mentality to literally die for your wife. You should have the mentality to liberally die for your children and your family. Because you don't supposed to fear death. Did Jesus fear death? No. Who did Jesus die for? Jesus died for everyone, particularly the church. Jesus and the man is supposed to represent the Lord, and the wife is supposed to represent like the church. Because the Bible clearly say that just like Jesus gave himself for the church, a man is supposed to have that same mentality to give his life. And the Bible also said that the woman should be just like the church, how the church reverence the Lord, respect. That's how a woman's supposed to do when it comes to her husband. She's supposed to respect the husband. And I have always said this. Brother, she needs love. You understand, brother? She needs love. Brother, she needs love. Sister, he needs respect. Sister, he needs respect. Sister, he needs respect. So, brother, you have to sow love into your wife. You got to move from the girlfriend and promote her to engagement, then marriage. You're supposed to love her. You commanded to love her. Love is not about your feelings, brother. It's secondary. Love is a decision. It commands the man, the husband, to love the wife like Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it. The Bible clearly say that how you know how you could tell whether a man love his wife. I mean, love himself. How he love his wife. If a man is married and he treat his wife right, privately and in public, because the public gonna be watching how you treat your wife. If a man love his wife, he love himself. If a man treat his wife bad, he hates himself. And I have told you, sister, that Deborah, and welcome to the dinner table. I have said this plenty of time, and you're probably gonna hear me say it again. When a man mentally, when a man emotionally, when a man physically, when a man financial, when a man etc., does his wife wrong, he don't love himself. So I have told you, sister, how you doing? Deshaun Murphy, welcome to the dinner table. Welcome. When a man treat his wife wrong on a spiritual, cause you see, he ain't got the spirit of God anyway. If he treat his wife nasty, cancel it out. Some of you sisters, you have made a mistake and you married one of Satan's son. That's why you suffering right now. You made that call. That worldly man did not put no gun to your head. He didn't put no knife to your back. You married that man for the wrong reason. You were going too much on your feelings. You did not ask God what type of man was in front of you. That's why you got hoodwinked. That's why you got bamboozled into being with the wrong man. And likewise, bro, that's how sometimes you get with the wrong woman too. You've been bamboozled. I can know that car. I have made that error before. Instead of going to God, I did it my way. I don't blame the woman. I blame myself because I didn't do it God's way. I did not wait on God to bring the right woman to me in his time. And I'm a witness and I know how it works. Wait for God, brother. Wait for God, sister, to bring you together. If you don't, you're going to mess up. Back to what I'm saying. Sisters, you want your husband to love you. Do you really want your husband to love you? Respect him. Men equate respect with love. You got to look, sister, you got to look how you talk to him. I'm telling you, sister, some of you, I hate to say this, because I'm not talking to no worldly women right now. I'm talking to some of you sisters. You got an acid mouth. You talk to the man like he's a little boy. He's not a little boy, especially if he's a son of God. And he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's not a little boy. You're not his mama. Some sister, you talk to your husband or the man that you're engaged to like he's a little boy. You got to respect him as a man. Not no boy man. His name ain't Jody and your name ain't Yvette. You got to respect him as a man. If you respect him as a man, you will see more than likely he's going to show you some tenderness. Like Otis Red say, try a little tenderness. He's going to show you some a little tenderness. But it goes hand in hand. Sister, do you desire love from your husband? Show some respect into him. Watch how you talk to him. When he talk to you, do not cut him off while he talking to you. That's one of the worst things you could do. Besides talking to him like he's a little boy, how you doing, Cuz and Rita? But by just talking to him like I'm a little boy, and then you going to cut him off while he talking. This is what I need to bring up to you, some of you sisters. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a pointer. When you tell your man, the man that you not your boyfriend, the man that you engaged to, getting married to, with that date, or you married to, when you say we need to talk, excuse me, listen to what you just said. You tell the man we need to talk. We need to talk. Why do I keep saying it? We need to talk. We need to talk. Most men have experienced a woman saying we need to talk. What comes to a man's mind when a woman says we need to talk? What comes to his mind first, what have I done or what have I not done? That's what, and now most men are going to come to get defensive within because most men pass with women when they say we need to talk. You know why? Well, most men have experienced. Most of the time when a woman says we need to talk, she really doesn't mean that. She really means I need to talk, you need to listen, and it's all about me. I'm going to say what I got to say. I want to hear what you got to say. That's how sisters, some of you guilty of it. Some of y'all guilty of it. Now, sister, if you actually tell the man we need to talk, you asking for communications, okay? You asking for communication. So what does communication mean? Communication is done in two ways. It's done verbally and it's done non-verbally. You have what is called a sender and you have what is called a receiver. So, sister, when you and this man talk, you supposed to talk in a way where you respect him. If you really want to get into him, do not come to him in attack mode. Don't come to him in attack mode. You got to sweeten up your words to get through. Because if you go off track when you're talking to your man, he gonna mentally shut the door on you, and you're gonna be saying, "Are you listening to me?" He may just shut down on you. Some of you sisters, you may have experienced it before. The man shutting down on you. Why did he shut down on you? Because it's something you said, or your body language. So I'm trying to tell you, sister, how to communicate to a man. Some of you saying right now, how he communicate to me. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how you communicate to him. You got to do it in a non-aggressive way. When you talk to a man, you got to talk to him with less grievous words. You got to understand what words can tick a person off. Those aggressive words, you're going to have to leave them. You're going to have to think before you talk. Do not go into it to attack. You go in attacking a man with words, he's going to shut down on you. I'm letting you know now, the best of them, they're going to shut down on you. And when you say we need to talk, that's exactly what it means. We need to talk. You start off, sister, you are the sender. You sending him what you want him to know. Okay? Do it in a sweet, respectable way. A non-aggressive way. Brothers, while she talking to you, do not interrupt her. If it's something that you need clarity on, because she is the sender, you are the receiver. Brother, while you listen to her, don't listen to her to try to fix things, because a lot of times they don't want you to fix nothing. They just want you to listen. To tell you the truth, brother, a lot of time, all you have to do, you really don't have to get a lot of dialogue. You just have to say one word, one sensible word. And a lot of time you can resolve it quickly. But listen to what she got to say. Do not interrupt her. Now, brother, if you got a problem by interrupting your woman, you need to have a sheet of paper and a pencil so you can write it down. So you got to respect her too. You write down whatever you want to address. If it's something that you don't understand, when she get a breath, you can say, "Do you mean this? Will you repeat that?" So you can get an understanding. Because when she said we need to talk, and after she put her grievance or whatever out there, then it's your turn, brother. You turn to the sender and she turned to receiver. So that's how communication works, verbal communication. So, sister, when he talks to you, you don't cut him off, and you don't try to finish his sentence. Don't do it. If you have a problem interrupting, sister, you need a sheet of paper and you need a pencil so you can write it down. After both sides verbally say what they got to say, this when it comes to, do you have any questions? And at that time, when you have a question, whichever one it be, put your question out there. Let him or her answer the question. Don't cut them off. Don't say nothing insulting or cut them off. Don't do that. Don't start calling one another names. When you going to talk, my brother and sister, whatever distraction you have, turn those phones off, turn the TV off, do something with your children, because you need to talk. Do not talk about nothing heavy before you eat. Don't do that. Do not talk about nothing heavy just before you go to bed. Don't carry problems into your bedroom. Your bedroom, my brother and sister, it's only for two reasons: recreation and rest. That's the only thing you, brother, and your wife got that goes in the bedroom. Recreation and rest. And you know what I'm talking about, recreation, right? And you know what rest is not for conflict. Your bedroom's supposed to be for peace. Even though you're not living in the Middle East, it's for peace. Because if you go taking mess into the bedroom, y'all gonna start cliffhanger where y'all used to cuddling stuff in the middle of the bed. One of y'all gonna start cliffhanger, and you don't want the other to touch you. And then when you have that anger going to your sleep, you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're not gonna say nothing. It's gonna be wintertime in your house. You ain't gonna say nothing. And all they're gonna do is build. If you have a problem, solve the problem. And when you solve the problem, my brother and sister, do not bring it up in another dispute or disagreement. Brother and sister, your name is not Jesus. You can't resurrect no one. So why do you want to resurrect stuff that you talked about in the past? There are some of you brothers and some of you sisters, you had a disagreement. You talked about it. You both supposed to have put it to death. You supposed to have buried. But there are some of you brothers and some of you sisters, when y'all start talking about something else that you disagree with, now you want to bring up something in the past. It died. You're not the resurrection. Your name is not Jesus. Jesus is the only one that got power to raise the dead. You shouldn't raise the dead. Stop playing Jesus. And when you're trying to bring dead stuff, Jesus bring dead stuff up to give life. When men and women bring dead stuff up, they bring it up to use as ammunition. You talk about one thing, and then you want to go back to the past. A lot of you brothers, you got to get mature. And the only way to get mature, my brother and sister, you have to have a growing relationship with God's Son Jesus. That's the only way you're going to do it. Now again, when a wise man truly loves a woman, he will never leave her. First thing about it, he got to be a wise man. A wise man has wisdom. He has the ability to see things from God's point of view. And the woman needs to be a Proverbs 31 woman. She needs to be a godly woman. So I'm telling you what type of man, he's a godly man. What type of woman? She's a godly woman. When I talk about the dinner table, it's not for the world. It's for you brothers and sisters. The world cannot understand what we are eating at the dinner table. They will never understand. They will come to the dinner table. They won't even understand what's going on. They can hear the language, but they won't understand what we're talking about. Because their minds is worldly. They deal on things from a worldly perspective. They cannot discern spiritual things, because spiritual thing to the world is like foolishness. That's all it is. The world can't understand what we're talking about here, my brothers and sisters. They can hear, I'm talking in the English language. You have some worldly men and worldly women, they can listen to me talking English language, but they don't understand nothing I'm talking about when it comes to a relationship. They believe in the way how the world does it. And the world does it Satan way. Satan method. And nothing really get resolved. It appear to be resolved. It appear to be growing, but it's dead. With that said, my brother, and with that said, my sister, if you have a question, put the word wait down there. I will wait for your question and I will address it. If you have a question for any other brother and sister on here, put wait and formulate your question or your comment. That's all you have to do. Put the word wait down there and we will wait if that's what you want to do. That right, A1K. The Bible clearly says, my people perish from a lack of knowledge. And when it comes to, that's right, that's in all things. Brother and sister, that like the A1K say, lack of knowledge. When it comes to a relationship, there are so many brothers and so many sisters, you lack knowledge when it comes to a relationship. You got to first understand the priority. God is the head of Jesus. Jesus is the head of man. Man is the head of the woman. That's the organization. God is a God of order, not of confusion. Confusion is of the devil. If there's a lot of confusion in your house, you got the devil in your house. Brother, if you are engaged or married to a woman, if you do not treat her like you're supposed to do, and the Bible said love your wife, it also said you have to understand her because your prayers will be hindered. It's a dangerous thing to marry a woman, especially a godly woman, and you treat her bad, and you want things to go your way. The Bible clearly say that your prayers will be hindered. And you looking for something good to come through, if you treat your wife right, that's your problem. I mean, if you treat her not right, that's your problem. God is not going to listen to what you got to say because you got to deal with how you treat your wife. A man that loves his wife, love himself. If he talk to his wife, or I mean the woman he's engaged to, or the woman he married to, if he talk to her in a bad way, he doesn't love her. If he abuses her mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, he doesn't love her because he doesn't love himself. So some of you sisters, you got to understand this. How you doing, Sister Jane? Went to the dinner table. You got to understand this, sister. Don't take this stuff personal sometimes. Some of you sisters, you take things too personal. You say that the man don't treat you right. He don't talk to you right. You got to understand that he doesn't love himself. First of all, he don't love Lord. So how can he love you? Let's do some math. How can a man love you when he doesn't love the Lord? He done heard about him, but the Lord doesn't live in him. These men that like to cuss the women out and do all kinds of foul things, they don't love themselves first. They don't love themselves. So, sister, you got to get this in your cranium. They don't love themselves. That's why they talk to you that way. That's why they do you wrong. They don't love themselves. They hate themselves. They say they love themselves. They don't. They selfish. They all about me, myself, and I. And some of you women, it's another thing too. You may be with a godly man. You got to respect him. You want love, right? You want love without respect. How that work? You can't get no love without respect. Brothers, sow love into your wives. Sisters, sow respect into the man, and you balance everything off. So the man getting respect, which he equate as love. The woman get her emotional need met, her head, her thoughts met by love. So you will have a good relationship. Overall, your relationship going to be good. Anyway, my brother and sister, I hope that you all got something and enjoyed the dinner table moment. I hope that you did. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. And I hope that you all have a good evening, okay? Peace out.